Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome, everyone, to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And two of my favorites are on with us tonight, Ted.
They sure are. And it's one more time back to the Wild West, Cara Delane. We have got Michelle McLain, Brand Yourself to Win. And it looks like we have WyoTech's newest, I'm reading this off the screen, Cara, WyoTech's newest automotive instructor. Congratulations. Robert, congratulations.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so excited about the show tonight, and we are live, right?
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So everyone share the video now and drop some comments down below for our guests.
Yeah, so if you are friends of the Fixed Ops Roundtable partners, go ahead and leave a comment, and we will shout that out as best that we can tonight. And we're all grateful for last week's, Michelle, that event. The Wild West was really, really well done and exciting.
It was so much fun. And, you know, like I said on the show last week, I think really these themes that we're evolving into, it's such a testament that you can do business and you can still have fun at the same time and let your personality come out. It was a great time. So I hope everybody else enjoyed it too.
Now, did I drive you too crazy? You can admit it here tonight because the event's over. With the number of changes you had to make to that Eventbrite image, how many times we changed the image? Let's add Sarah. Oh, wait, we got Ed Roberts on there. Sarah and Ed and Tully and Cara. Do we put Cara in? Do we put Tully in? And you said yes, yes, yes to all the above.
You know what? I think that just comes with the territory, Ted. We've been working together now for so long that I just normally just acquire 8 to 10, changes for every image that we do. And you have to learn how to think on your feet when you do business with Tedding. So it just works.
All right. I don't think I'm that bad. Hey, want to thank everybody for everything you're doing for the event. Coralie, we see you there. Ashley Ellis, hi to you as well. Thank you, Ashley, for everything that you're doing for Fixed Ops. Amazing stuff at Brook.ai. Very grateful to you. The event, Robert, is now on LinkedIn. So if you haven't caught it yet, everybody, the entire event, Tony Owens, can be found on our YouTube page. Pardon me. I just got enough sleep, okay, after the last couple of days. So our YouTube page, if you check on Fixed Ops Roundtable and search on that, it'll come up with the event, and you'll be able to see it there. And that's the image I'm referring to that Michelle put together at the very top. And Michelle, great job with the colors and the branding. Oh, yeah, I drove you crazy with the backgrounds, too. I remember that.
We did. I think, every time we do an event, it kind of starts out as a cesspool of ideas in Google Drive folders, and then we kind of narrow it down. And with every event, I'm normally downloading anywhere between 50 and 100 things and pulling pieces like a vision board we put together. And then we kind of all just go through it, narrow down and pick and choose, and it works.
And of course, we're very grateful tonight to our exclusive sponsor for the After Dark show, BG Products, partners beyond products. Zach Fox was here last week, gave us a whole lot on that, along with Don Lindsay, and Zach won one of the best practice awards. And I saw that's already in motion. I saw the draft on that in the last day or so. So Zach was here Monday night. So congratulations to him and to BG for all they are doing. So Michelle, we've talked about how the Roundtable has affected so many lives in one way or another over the past 4 years, yours and mine, and Kara's as well. You know, and we're going to hear a little bit about Robert's story. But Michelle, there really has been a whole lot that's, you know, a lot of good that's come out, and I think we've put a lot of good into the universe.
I agree. You know, I think that our event is really unique, but, you know, I bleed my hashtag We Rise Together, but I really believe that this event is one of those events that really just kind of pushes that message forth. It's like you light one candle and then the trickle down effect of other people, they're doing the same. And Robert's story tonight, I can't wait to hear it. It's such a testament to everything that we're doing at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's not just about education or motivation or any of those things, but it's about making a true difference in the lives of our automotive community, the fixed ops community, and helping other people to get to that next level as well. And Robert, your story is just incredible, and I can't wait for you to share it.
Robert,
yeah,
let's go for it.
Let's go for it. So I did put a post out the other day on LinkedIn, but I have not been able to share yet live that Stage 1 Mobile is going very mobile. So my wife and I are going to be moving to Laramie, Wyoming, and I have accepted a position as a automotive general instructor with WyoTech. So it's wonderful. It's the culmination of a 32-year career. It's where I always seen myself at some point in my life. My wife is absolutely over the moon, ready to move and wants to get out there. And just the interview process from everything from the beginning to the end was absolutely amazing. The campus is unbelievable. The inside of the building is, I think they opened last November is when they did the ribbon cutting, and it's amazing. So it's got state-of-the-art equipment. All the students are happy. They're walking around smiling. There's a lot of learning going on when you're there. Special thanks to Sean Nunley, the Vice President of Training, Mark Musman, the core program director, and then also Eric Paul, who is the special coordinator for the programs. I sat down with those gentlemen in the morning. They flew me out there, all expenses paid. They do that with anybody that's a serious contender for the position, and brought me out. We did a morning interview. Everything went really well. Then they have you do a micro teach. So I had to put together a presentation to actually, teach a class. And they had everyone from faculty to students to Eagle students. The instructors, some of the instructors was sitting in on the class, and we're supposed to do like 15 minutes. I ended up doing like 30 minutes because I'm a little long-winded, and it turned out great. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. After that, they bring you through, and then they put you with someone, and then you do some job shadowing as you're there. So you get to see the students, talk to the students, see how they're doing, talk to the other instructors. And the stories are just amazing all the way throughout. I got to do that all day. The gentleman took me to lunch. We got to sit down in downtown Laramie and just kind of hang out and talk. Had to make my own sweet tea. Apparently Laramie's not real big on sweet tea. So I had to put about 7 packets of sugar in my tea, but it was absolutely amazing. Like I said, so I'm completely over the moon.
See, you attend the Wild West event and then you move to the Wild West. That's how it works, right?
It's exactly how it works. Yeah, how apropos that it ended up being at the Wild West.
You need a cowboy hat, though.
I'll probably have to have one. I'm gonna have to get a big, heavy parka apparently too. So,
yeah. I've got the gift card from Cabela's on the way to you. Already,
nice.
Robert, for the warm outer clothing that I hear from Marshall and from your colleagues that you're going to need as you head out there. So.
Yeah, like I told you, I'll be sure to make sure I get my wife a nice snowsuit too. There's some sledding we have to get done.
So I see Ed Roberts in the chat. Ed, we've got a friend now at WyoTech, and Tony, I'm sure we'll be able to call on him for that. And Owen, you are pretty awesome yourself. So we're congratulating Robert Stage on his announcement that he is becoming a full-time instructor at WyoTech's Laramie campus. And I had not heard, Kara, of WyoTech. I've heard of other technical training schools over the years, but it wasn't until the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Jay Ganinin from Wrenchway was a speaker at our second event, and he told me about Cindy Barlow at WyoTech, Sean Butler, whom I know you know as well. And Cindy sponsored that event, and she came out and spoke. She won a Best Practice Award. And I was really unsure of the whole WyoTech thing. The night before the roundtable, the evening before, we were all up at the roof of the tallest hotel there in Beverly Hills. Pardon me, it was not the Beverly Hilton; it was the one right next door to it. And I forget the name of it, but it's a magnificent structure. And she told me how to pronounce WyoTech properly, right? I remember we all did a video up there. But Robert, just amazing that you go to WyoTech now, and you have this new start and this new career, and get to use all your expertise as well.
Absolutely, yeah, I can't wait. And it's funny that you mentioned Cindy Barlow. She had made a post on that technician panel that I was able to moderate, and on the live, and I just by happenstance happened to mention, hey, thanks for the support, and maybe sometime we should talk about me becoming an instructor there at the school. And immediately in the DM, she asked me a couple questions and automatically asked when I could start. So it is the power of being able to come on to the Fixed Ops Roundtable and being able to be social on LinkedIn and find out if there are openings at different places. And I'll be the first to tell you that they have some really quality people out there, and then they're also looking for more people. So they're looking for 21 more instructors. So that's a lot of bodies that they need to go out there. And like I said, and many have said in the chat, it's an amazing part of the country. So I highly recommend that you reach out to them. It's wyotech.edu, and the career page is at the bottom of it. So you just go down there and click on it.
And Robert, do you happen to know, in fact, these are their program start dates for this year. So you've got a number of them. Do you know how many students they graduate approximately? Any idea?
I don't know offhand as far as how many they graduate, but I do know that they typically run about 900 students at any given time at the school. Okay. So I would say that the graduation classes are, if I had to guess, it's probably 200 to 300 per graduation.
That is very, very impressive. And our friend Mark Mickens. So Mark, I got to be the first to ask our friend Robert, are you still going to be available for the mobile panel?
I will be. Yeah, I will continue doing some mobile work there in Laramie. So I'll be doing that in the afternoons and then on the weekends. School starts at 6:45 sharp. Students roll in at 7, and everyone gets out at 4:20. So
wow.
Yeah, so there's still plenty of time. Not in the 9 months of winter, from what I hear, but the 2 months of summer is supposed to be really nice there.
Just 9? I thought it was closer to like 11 and a half here out in the West.
It may be. I'm not sure yet.
In July last year.
The pictures don't lie. Do you have that other photo, Ted?
The one I showed you in the green room? Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
You sure okay? You sure okay me showing this one here?
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
That doesn't look fun at all.
No, that does not look fun.
I hope you're a good director.
However, if it gets that bad outside, we've already discussed it. We'll probably be staying in. There's no reason to go out on the road if it's like that. So
now that's Highway 80, right?
Yeah, I believe that's Highway 80 between Laramie and Cheyenne. And of course, Marshall Sheldon, apparently his mother still lives there in Cheyenne. And he started telling me real quick, like, animals, make sure you always have something with you when you go into the mountains. Make sure there's a person with you. Always take someone else with you. And he said definitely if you're going to work in Laramie, do not live anywhere else. Live in Laramie. So you have to be in Laramie. Apparently,
just walking out of your driveway up here in the mountains.
Right.
So Robert, what is Laramie like? Like, what is that town? What is it like? You said you had lunch there. Would give us the lay of the land.
So the old part of town kind of almost gives you the feel of like an old saloon town. All the buildings are small, squared off type of, structures. And then the rest of the town, there's some little bit of rundown areas, and there's some really good, really nice areas of town where they're doing construction and doing industrial construction. And like I was telling my wife, it's like the little town that we live near here in Delaware, Ohio. It's a college town also. They have Ohio Wesleyan. So out there, they have Wyoming University, which is the only school in Wyoming other than the tech school that I'll be going to. It's a college town. It's a really small, 15 minutes wide. Very hometown feel. It's very warm. Everyone there's nice and smiling. And of course, when you walk in somewhere with Sean and Mark, to sit down and have lunch, a lot of people know everybody. So it kind of gives you that cheers feeling. Actually, when you walk in, it's like people do actually know your name, and you go and sit down, and they'll talk across tables, even sitting there just enjoying lunch. So it's a really nice place.
And tell us about your role as an instructor. What are you going to be teaching? I know there's different
Sure.
curriculums and so on. What have you decided to do?
So they opened me up and basically allowed me to kind of pick what I wanted to teach. And since I love diagnostic work, I love electronics, I love electricity. They basically put me into what's called EMS 1 and EMS 2, and that's engine management systems. So I'll be teaching basically everything from sensors and parameters of sensors, that type of thing, all the way around to lab scope usage in part 2 of that class, scan tool usage, how to use data, how to diagnose vehicles. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing.
Incredible.
Are you going to be able to come to us, for the events? Are you going to be able to be in the actual, workshops there when we actually record you or go live?
Yeah, I don't believe that they would have a problem with the free publicity that they would get. I have no qualms about that. I'm perfectly happy doing it. I think the more the spotlight shines on that part of the industry, I think it does trickle down into the shops, the service advisor areas, all of those things. They have other courses. They have applied service management courses also. You can get a 2-year, like an associate's degree in that. So yeah, I have no issue doing that, and I'd be excited to do it.
So, Mitch Wood, thank you for coming tonight. I don't know that you know Cindy Barlow, but she's a great spokesperson for our industry and for the trades. And she really alerted us a couple of years ago when she spoke and won that Best Practice Award, Michelle, about the need for technicians and that the need was so strong and that WyoTech is putting together an amazing curriculum. And WyoTech has a long history, Robert, but they changed hands some years back. And that's kind of when Cindy came in, and her job was to make sure that they had a lot of students and, of course, make sure they have instructors. So she's been like an ambassador these last couple of years. I've watched her speaking and, talking about that. And she's somebody we probably need to have on here again, Robert, as well. But
Definitely.
She's a great ambassador for our industry.
Definitely.
Robert,
It's
do
like
you
I
know if
said,
there's any scholarship opportunities that are available?
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you. I know they're a Title IV school, so that you can go and actually get a student loan to go there. And I feel for what you get, they are very competitively priced. So I know that there's probably things. I know that when I was in college, you could go and write and try to get grants, and you could try to get Pell Grants and all those types of things. So
Yeah.
I would say that there's definitely some avenues that people could navigate to get there.
Wow.
Awesome.
And it's 9 months. I mean, it's, the core programs are 6 months long. There's electives, there is prerequisites, that type of thing. So it is a college. So 3 months of that they're there, they take those courses. And then the other 6 months, they'll be with us, the automotive instructors. And they have chassis courses. They have transmission rebuilding. They have heavy duty diesel. They have auto body and collision. I mean, it runs the entire gamut of the industry.
So, Robert, Sean Kingery and I spoke about an hour ago, and we were
Mhm.
talking about you and about Laramie and WyoTech, and I believe he has been in the past on an advisory board for them as well. But you got to let us know, what some of the opportunities are, because all these big fixed ops directors have some kind of relationship with the technical training school. So I'm sure to have that relationship with WyoTech, would be really important to feeding that pipeline. To making sure that quality technicians, I'm sure they have no problem getting employed, okay, after they graduate, but, having those opportunities available to them as early as possible.
Exactly. And one of the questions I had for Sean, the VP of training, when I got there was, basically, how many job offers do your students typically have? And, good job offers. And he said, a lot of their Eagle students usually have between 8 and 10 job offers. Some of the other guys that do really well in class usually have like 5 to 7. So, I mean, this industry is, I mean, especially if you're a technician, especially if you've been trained, you've been highly trained, you can make a lot of money and you can go places pretty quickly, especially if you show what kind of metal that you have. You show that you're easy to get along with, easy to work with. You want to learn, you're hungry, that type of thing. You can go pretty far, pretty fast. So the other thing I'd ask him was, what is your median average student's age when I got there? And he said that they have usually it's 19 is pretty much the median, but they do have guys. I met a gentleman that was 41 years old that was going to school there to become a technician. So and he was leaning towards heavy truck, and he was asking me, what do you think I should do? And I was like, well, I mean, heavy truck is one thing, but you could always go into like maintenance on like generators that have like 3-cylinder diesel engines, all those types of things. There's so many different avenues that you can take. Even some of the lawn care stuff now has diesel engines on it. So it's like there's so many avenues you can take from that school. You know how the aerospace industry likes to dip into the automotive and pick people up.
Yes.
People who've learned about materials and material sciences and all those. I mean, that kind of stuff is taught there. Not necessarily on a scientific level, but you deal with it every day. So I think there's tons of opportunity coming from that school, coming out into the world.
That is fascinating. Michelle, we haven't done a whole lot, with the technical training schools. We probably need to expand our horizon, and do some more, directly with them.
I see a huge opportunity for that right now. I see dealers all the time posting about the shortage of technicians. And it's funny that he paralleled on aerospace. My husband's in aviation, and you're so right. A lot of these places are now recruiting from the aviation industry as well, because there's such a shortage of auto techs. And there are a lot of parallels. So I definitely could see. That's why I asked you about scholarships too, because I think getting those schools involved with the Fixed Ops Roundtable, maybe we could partner up with some of these schools and offer our own Fixed Ops Roundtable scholarship in the future. Who knows?
Well, you know what? Adam Aarons was here yesterday. I think I mentioned that to you on another project that we're working on. And he was talking about how he offers a scholarship. And there are certain requirements at the Patriot Automotive Group, but it really made a lot of sense on attracting and recruiting talent. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got a couple key retailers like an Adam Aarons, Michelle, behind it as well. That would put a lot more horsepower, because you'd also have their connections like with the OEMs as well. And
I'll lead up the initiative. Master Conductor, happy to.
Okay, I like it. I like it. And Tony Owens, you were out in Wyoming for a while. You told us about that. Carol, what do you think about all this with the technical training school and bringing up technicians, and now Robert going to teach others?
I know. Well, first off, everybody knows I am a nerd for some education. So I know I've asked you in the past, Ted, and I've asked some other people that have been on the roundtable about scholarship opportunities, like Michelle was saying, because that's what got me through college. So I know what it feels like to be one of those young students that want to go to school, but might need some financial help to do it. So I think that's a great idea. And to top it off, I have to say, Robert, I told Ted the other day that I remember first getting to know you, and you have just skyrocketed through the industry. So congratulations. I love to see everything that you're doing, especially when it involves, students.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And Robert, I remember like in the early Fixed Ops Roundtable days, I remember that at that first event that Cindy was talking about, I think you almost attended that event. We had been talking with Update Promise and some folks about you coming out, but you always stayed with the roundtable, and then when we went through that period, when we couldn't be on the road anymore,
Right.
Your profile really picked up, and you got on Joe Lockhart's panel with the Automax Tech Vengers. And Robert, you really help drive that into the stratosphere, because that's been probably the most popular, or one of the most popular. Now you got the mobile panel, right? Those panels both started in their infancy with you, and now they've picked up a lot of steam and a lot of support, Robert.
Yep. I have to thank Marco Zwanenberg for reaching out to me, because he and Mike Vogel had reached out to me to get me on to that panel. And he was instrumental in making sure that, I was able to come along and come aboard, and it's been awesome ever since. Everything I've ever got to do with the Fixed Ops Roundtable has definitely been beneficial. I love doing it. It's doesn't take anything out of my time, and I love giving back to the industry. One thing I bring up is when I was doing my micro teach, they had a question and answer session at the end of it, and a lot of the students and a lot of the different students and instructors had a lot of questions. And that part of it really was where I was able to kind of ad lib and talk to them, and, just use my, extensive history of being in the business and in the industry to really let students know kind of like what it was like. Because a lot of them ask, have you worked at a dealership? How many dealerships? Did you work in the aftermarket? And, I've had a mix of both backgrounds. And now doing mobile, it's kind of like I'm kind of hand in hand between all of it. But, they had a lot of questions about life. What do you do with a stubborn boss, or if someone doesn't want to help you do training and that type of thing? Because there's continued training. It doesn't end. They had great questions, amazing questions that they asked.
Wow. Where are the students from, Robert? Are they from all over the country, or, do
50 states.
Wow.
So one of the things that really sold me to is the school puts together for like Thanksgiving, because a lot of the students can't travel back home. So they fed 600 people, 600 students last year at Thanksgiving time. So that was amazing. And then also they do a food bank for all the students. So they want to make sure that no student ever, goes hungry. No student ever has, no way to eat. So they also do a food bank. They do different drives during the year. The graduations are amazing. I got to see some photographs from some of the graduations while I was there. It's just an amazing thing. So I'm honored and excited to be part of it.
We need some students on here one day.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, to hear their side of the story. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. The only students we've had on have been remember the Northwood students we had on, in late 2021, they did a couple panels, but we've never had, Robert, the technical students. So that would be great to put something together there. That would actually be a real big win.
Definitely. I make sure I put together a proposal before I ever get there.
See, this is where some of our best ideas are born, just sitting on these little panels. This is how I generate marketing ideas. Literally, it's through the power of networking and people speaking up like yourself and saying, hey, we should do something like this. And then we can turn it into something really awesome and put the creative behind it. So it's really super cool to see how it comes together.
And Michelle, look at the comments coming in. Robert Miggs from Carter Myers, who is very actively involved, and he won a Best Practice
He's
Award.
Such an amazing human.
And Sean Butler was just on here just a little while ago. Sean also won a Best Practice Award. Congratulations to both of you. But very active, in the technical, and Sean Kingry, of course, in the technical training schools. So, I see where this is going. This is great, Robert.
There's a lot of power in networking, and I'm proof positive that literally one connection, one decision can change the entire trajectory of your life. Sometimes it's just about showing up and saying yes to an opportunity. And we provide so many opportunities at the Fixed Ops Roundtable to be able to do that and launch yourself wherever you want to go in the automotive industry and even beyond.
Well,
very true.
And Robert, how would your wife, Mrs. Stage, she's excited, you said, about the move?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, over the moon. We were able to find somewhere to live. We were able to sign the lease today. We were able to get the deposit to the movers, and they're hired. And we pull out of town ourselves on Friday the 10th, and we're going to drive straight through. And then I go to work that Monday morning after that on the 13th. So, Yep, we're ready.
Well, come have lunch. I'm only a few hours away here in Colorado. So if you need somebody to show you around, you and the wife or whatever, I don't mind making the drive. I love meeting new people.
Yeah, I had to drive up from Denver because it was so quick that they was unable to get me a connector flight. So I drove from Denver up.
And it was not that bad a drive, you said, like 120 miles or so?
It's like 111, and it was beautiful country. The way the GPS took me, it took me up 287 into Wyoming, and I missed Cheyenne, but I got to see all the amazing countryside up through there coming into the state. Yeah, it was beautiful.
And Michelle, so you have that countryside as well. You are west of Colorado Springs? Is that right? Or
I'm actually about 90 miles southeast, if I recall correctly. I live in a tiny little mountain town of 680 people in tiny mountain town, Colorado. So I'm no stranger to the drive you're making and the new life you're about to lead. I did it sight unseen 2 years ago. Best decision I ever made, though.
Yep. I've already told my wife there's a K5 Blazer with 40-inch tires on it in our future at some point.
We're looking at a Sherp. It's getting that bad out here. So
that would work too. Or one of those tanks that they sell now.
Yep, it's a Sherp. It's amazing.
Make sure you can get good internet, Robert, too. So
yeah, exactly. I guess AT&T is the ticket out there.
Here.
Starlink. I thought about looking into Starlink.
Good luck. I've been waiting a year and a half.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I seen Miglaccio in there. I seen him. He done popped up.
Yep, he's there. So, All right, Robert, congratulations to you. And
Thank you.
Michelle, look how this half hour has flown by, just, talking about Robert's success.
It
So,
always flies here because it's fun.
This half hour is going to turn into 4 more days of the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Absolutely.
Yep. Notice how with the emphasis on 4, right? Yeah. So
There you go. 4 more.
All right.
We're brave.
Well, everybody, thank you so much. Again, the event is on YouTube from last week. There is another event, though, Kara, in May coming up that we're going to be announcing. Actually, we announced it, but we'll be promoting that soon as well.
Yep, I'm excited. Back to the 80s for our next Fixed Ops Roundtable. It starts on May 15th. It's going to be another 4-day virtual event, so you can grab your complimentary tickets for that upcoming event at fixedopsroundtable.com.
And Michelle, that's so clever. You got the old Blockbuster theme, Be Kind and Please Rewind, because that was the 80s.
You did. I did a little bit of a spin-off, so we didn't, violate any trademarks or anything, but I thought that was like kind of a really cool thing. We all remember that from the 80s, Be Kind, Rewind, and we're going to take you back to the 80s with this awesome event.
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday.
See, Kara remembers that.
I wasn't even born.
I was an 80s baby. I was born in 81. It's hard to believe, but yeah, I'm an 80s baby, so this is going to be exciting for me.
Yeah, so.
It is going to be fun.
And Kara, your parents
like
remembered the 80s. I know that. So.
Oh, I grew up listening to 80s music, and yeah, I'm a fan of the big hair and all the things, so I'm excited for that.
I feel like Ted's younger than I am.
Robert, how old are you? I've never asked you.
47.
Okay, all right. You're still a baby, so cool.
Yeah. I got a little bit of water left behind this one, just the top of it.
You got a great career ahead of you, so you're just getting started.
Absolutely.
Yes, congratulations. Super excited for you. Welcome
Thanks.
to the Wild West, my friend.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you all being here tonight to share Robert's success and story. Steve Apicella, sorry we didn't get a chance to spend more time together here tonight, but we will. And Michelle McLain, Brand Yourself to Win, our marketing guru at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Thank you for all you do for our industry. Robert Stage, the newest instructor at WyoTech. Congratulations. And of course, Kara Delane, thank you for all you do as well. We'll be back next Monday, right?
On Monday at 8 p.m.
Okay, and we got a great guest. We've got Ken Malden from the Purdy Group, 3 Toyota stores in Texas. Will be with us that night, along with a few other guests as well. So we look forward to that and a lot of things that we're going to share on.
And I'm assuming you have a great headshot for me, right, Ted?
He was at the Wild West event. He spoke. Yes.
Just kidding.
We always get the best headshots.
We do always.
Yep.
It'll be fun. Leading up to back to the 80s. Thank you, Michelle, for everything that you do for the Fixed Ops Roundtable. She doesn't get the spotlight enough, so we appreciate you, Michelle. And Robert, it's always a pleasure. Congratulations. And I can't wait to see some future technicians here shortly on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Thanks, everyone, for watching tonight. We'll catch you on Monday at 8 p.m.